Hello everyone and welcome to the Pop-Up Life channel. I'm Travis.
I'm Brooklyn.
And we're so glad you found us here. We bought a pop-up camper in the middle of 2020.
Pandemic.
And since have been traveling around trying to go camping at least once or maybe even twice a month with our pop-up. So this channel is all about pop-up camping, what you can do with a pop-up camper, tips and tricks for having a pop-up camper, and we also do campground reviews to every place we go.
Right.
So on this video we want to take an opportunity and tell you the 5 big reasons, the 5 primary reasons why we decided to go with a pop-up camper as opposed to maybe a larger camper or an RV or something like that.
So reason number 1 as to why we really wanted a pop-up camper is because we just genuinely like being outside. And we have noticed more and more, the more we camp, that people who have bigger campers are never outside, ever. We rarely see them, except maybe just to walk their dog. Otherwise, they are inside the entire time. And there is nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But we have a wonderful house at home where we are inside a good bit. And we didn't purchase something else just so we could be outside. I mean, be inside more. So that is why we got it. And as you can see, they're small. So you don't want to spend a whole lot of time in them. It's just great, and it makes the boys come outside, you know?
And when we were in college, we did a lot of tent camping.
Right.
And you can do that with kids, but we figured we needed a little more better of a sleeping situation with kids. and if, you know, it gets really cold, it's nice to have a heater. If it's really hot outside, nice to have some AC. So it's kind of like tent camping in that you're outside during the day, you know, you're really just sleeping inside the thing. And that's kind of what we were going for and why we decided, well, we don't really go camping to spend a lot of time inside the camper. It's usually just a vessel to sleep in for the most part, keep your clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And now our camper is equipped with a bathroom and a shower in it, as well as an indoor cooking and a sink. We just don't use any of those things. It's not really worth the hassle to us to heat up the propane or to take a shower in there. We have started using the bathroom some just because the kids are small, but we don't really use any of those extra things that are in there, which they're great that they're there, but we just haven't used them yet. We find them to be more aggravating almost to have to set up and take down. So we just do everything outside. We cook outside. We usually eat outside unless it's freezing, and then we'll all eat inside. But those are, you know, it just gets us out here.
Yeah, when we go camping, we like to spend our time outside, walking trails, building fires, cooking outside, doing stuff like that. So no sense in us having a big fancy camper that would, you know, make us want to sit inside it all day.
Because those things are nice.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
So reason number 2 we decided to go with a pop-up camper is mainly because with a pop-up, we didn't have to upgrade our vehicles to be able to pull it. Now I've got a F-150 that I drive. Brooklyn has the Yukon or Tahoe?
Yukon XL.
Yukon that she drives. And I could probably pull a much bigger camper with my truck, not anything like a 5th wheel or a gooseneck like that. But with the pop-up, she can pull it with her SUV. I can certainly pull it with my truck. So it didn't require us upgrading vehicles or upgrading towing packages or anything like that. And even for some of the places we go up in the mountains where you're pulling up steep hills, stuff like that, you know, trips to Black Rock Mountain, places like that can be a little dicey. But with our vehicles and the pop-up, which is not that heavy to pull behind, makes it really easy. So we didn't have to make any further investments to upgrade our vehicles to be able to pull it. Whereas if we would have went with a big monster camper, we would have certainly had to take that into consideration.
Yeah, and it's also a great option. I've seen people pull it with a minivan. I've seen people pull it with smaller SUVs like an Envoy. And so that's just, I mean, we just happen to have bigger vehicles that could pull it, but for people who don't have a truck or even a larger SUV, it's another great reason to get it. Yeah,
I'm not sure what the actual weight of ours is, but we're in some pop-up groups on Facebook and see plenty of people pulling it with mid-size SUVs, no problem.
Yep. All right, and now to reason number 3. The biggest one, I think, is affordability. You can easily spend your kids' college funds on these other campers, and even a new pop-up camper has gotten really expensive. So we went used, went the used route. It looked great on the inside. I've seen a few people take one that looked really bad, had a lot of structural issues, and redo it. Thank goodness we didn't have to do any of that. We could have not remodeled it. Everything we did was just for looks. We didn't have to change anything because there was anything structurally wrong with it. So that was great. We got a good deal on it. It was also wonderful to know that if we weren't really into it, or the kids didn't really like it, we hadn't really lost too much money at that point. So that was another great thing for us.
Yeah, we were fortunate that one of my cousins was upgrading to a larger camper. It had this one, took very good care of it. He was just looking to sell it, and kind of fell in our laps.
It did.
And we wanted something we could pay cash for. We didn't want to borrow money for a big camper, just in case for some reason the kids didn't like it. Turns out they love it, which is great. But you know, we had to make just a small investment, not a huge investment, and it just works out good that way.
All right, number 4. You can take this thing anywhere. Anywhere. That is the best part, I think, of it. It is small enough. Whenever you're storing it, it can go anywhere. It can fit in your garage if you live in a neighborhood that has HOVs or something like that. Is that the word? HOAs. HOAs. Or anything else like that where you're not allowed to keep something in your driveway.
You can even buy covers for them. They're easy to put on and off if you don't have a covered carport or barn or whatever. So you don't have to pay to store it somewhere usually because it's small enough. The other thing is it's easy to tow through town. So whenever we're going up in the mountains or things like that, we're not having the same concerns as other people are who have bigger campers, worrying about width or depth. We can also fit into almost any camping spot. Yeah, we can even fit into some places that are not designated camping spots.
That's true.
For the most part, we try to go places that have power hookups. But with this, we can basically take it anywhere we can get into. We haven't invested in a generator yet, but we could add a little simple generator and have power anywhere and basically put this thing anywhere. And not only because it's small can you drive and pull in anywhere with it, but also because it's lightweight. We've had to do this a couple times. If you can't get your truck or get it pulled into the spot just like you want it, it's light enough I can pick up on the tongue of it and scoot it over and move it around and kind of adjust it and put it wherever we need it. So it's not like a big bulky monstrosity that you have to be worried about space. Slide this thing in anywhere, you're good to go. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Go through any drive-through pretty much too. Drive-through is not a problem at all. Which is important when you have children. That's right. And reason number 5, final reason we bought a pop-up, is that it really doesn't require a whole lot of maintenance. There's not a lot of electronics, if any, on there. You don't have to worry about, you know, motors on slide outs and stuff like that. Now there is some little maintenance you have to do. You have to worry about these cables here over time, weakening and stuff. For the most part, there's not a lot of maintenance, you know, besides the bearings on the wheels and making sure you got good tires on there. That's pretty much all the maintenance. And waterproofing this. Taking good care of this. Yeah, waterproofing the canvas a little bit. But not a whole lot of maintenance, not a whole lot of money we have to spend on this on a regular basis to maintain it. And you know, once you got it, you may have a few add-ons there and there, but it's not like a boat or anything where you constantly have to spend money on it and spend money on it. So you know, affordability we mentioned earlier was big, but also maintenance cost, really big thing. And that's why we like our pop-up. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about our top 5 or main 5 reasons why we bought a pop-up. I guess we should have mentioned what actual model we have. We have a 2008 Fleetwood Westlake. That's the one we went with. That's the one that kind of fell in our laps. I feel like we had a lot to choose from. We were just like, we'll take it, thank you. That's right. It's funny, whenever you first called me and said, I think I want to get a pop-up, so-and-so said he's selling it, I was like, pop-up? I'm getting a pop-up. Then I got in that thing and I was thinking, oh my gosh, this thing's huge. So, I mean, it feels big when you're in there. It has 2 king-size beds on either side. I think a lot of people think, oh, it's just a tent. You're like, no, I got a lot of room in there. We got a lot of great stuff going on. Yeah, plenty of room for a family of 4. Yeah, family of 4. We got a family of 5, 6, whatever. You know, we're down for it. I did want to mention, we have learned so much from pop-up Facebook groups
Instagram, YouTube. So we're just so thankful for people who comment on this, who comment tips for us, because we've only been doing it 6 months. So like, and there's always something new that we're learning, and while we're teaching our tricks, we have so much room to learn. So we have an Instagram now called Pop-Up Life. Find us on there. I have just more pictures, mostly me running it, things with the kids, but just a lot of like items we found that we really like. And that was the hardest thing, is right when we first got a pop-up, I was thinking, oh my goodness, what all do we need? And I think the biggest piece of advice I could give you is go camping once without buying a whole bunch of stuff, and then figure out what you need. Because I tried to go and get a lot of stuff first. I'd read a bunch of blogs and Instagram pages, and then we didn't really need a lot of it. So before you do that, just go once. I mean, get your bare necessities, get some utensils and plates, but don't go crazy and get everything that everyone says they need, because you may not really need it for your family.
That's right. I think we have found, you know, the impulse is you get all excited about camping. I'm gonna buy all this gear and accessories and extra things, and then the more you go, you kind of slim it down. Well, maybe I don't need to load up all that this time. We didn't really use it last time. So
that's very true.
You kind of just learn as you go. But it's been a fun journey, and we hope you enjoy our journey and seeing our chronicles as we travel around to mostly state parks in the southern states, Georgia, Florida, around there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell so you get notified every time we come out with a new video. We will see you guys on the next one.
Thanks for watching.